Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to this new video in which we will take a look at this, not the other screen you just saw. We are going to do a full update on Coinbase and the Coinbase stock. We'll talk about some potential trade opportunities, and we'll talk about my general thoughts on this stock. I mean, it's been relatively stable. Of course, it also went down at the end of October. In the beginning of November, when the entire market fell down quite a bit, both in crypto, but then also last week, of course, the general financial markets. But overall, if you take into consideration all of the price action we've seen since August, it's been relatively stable around this area right here at $320. And we've also just gotten a very strong reaction here at the value area low of all the price action we've seen since August, which is sitting around 295. So it's relatively stable, although I would argue there's a couple of things that can push it higher, all right? And that's why I ultimately wanted to make a video on this. I think when we're talking about the short term, I see nothing interesting, okay? Because when we're talking about the current price, like I said, we have this range right here between 295. That's the bottom of the range, if I'm able to draw it, bottom of the range right here. And then we have the top of the range, and outside of that also a strong resistance level right here between 350 and 360, while my internet lags. All right, so when we're talking about the short-term trades, there's nothing interesting here in terms of risk reward, unless you think there's enough reason that we're going to get a bullish breakout. And I think there's a couple of things, or at least a couple of events and a couple of things that can happen that can actually cause us to break out, but it's too early for that right now. So what are those reasons? Why am I relatively bullish on Coinbase, and why do I think that it has potential from lower areas? I mean, my personal favorite area to buy would be this area right here at 275 and 265. That would be a retest of a previous imbalance we left and the previous range high of price action we've had for a very long time, since March 2024, right? The value area high of that consolidation we've had in that period of time from March 2024 until June 2025 is at that level. And then it's also supported by the yearly rolling VWAP and the 90-day rolling VWAP. So getting an entry at that level would be a dream. But I must say that I do not expect that. We've obviously today heard that the US government shutdown is probably over soon, or at least that they're going to vote on that. So that brings about more stability in the financial markets. One of the key reasons why we even pushed down into 290 last week was instability in the markets. So that is no longer a reason why we can push down lower. And then fundamentally, Coinbase is actually doing quite good. So they're getting more and more partnerships with institutions, right? So they're getting away from the retail side, although they're still a major business, a major partner in that as well, of course. But the thing is that if we're talking about stable coins, for example, who are the main users and who are the main issuers of stable coins? It's institutions, right? And those institutions are probably, especially when they're in stable coins, a little bit more stable in terms of the income you can generate through them than retail. So I think that's positive. The Coinbase earnings that we had, I think 2 weeks ago, those were positive. And outside of that, we've also seen some other funds and some advices coming in that Coinbase should be a buy. And then today we had some news, although I think that's a little bit too early to talk about that too much, but of them launching a pre-listing token platform, which with a relatively big crypto project starting on that. So I would argue the fundamentals are actually quite good in terms of real financials, but also in terms of the direction they're going in with their business. But then you take a look at the price and you see that we've been stable since June, even though I think since June the company has gotten better. And outside of that, to add on to that, I think we actually, we just spoke about the fact that they're moving away from retail a little bit, or at least in terms of proportion between institutions and retail. But I think we have a pretty good chance, at least for Bitcoin, to bottom as well. So if Bitcoin bottoms, if we see if we see the volume picking up for spot volume, if in general the crypto market gets a little bit better, I think it's almost guaranteed we're going to break above 355 eventually. Right now, the momentum is too low. I would even say that even though the uncertainty in the markets is decreasing, it is also still too high. So I would say short term, it is more likely that we will remain in this stability and that we will hover around 320, 325, potentially get a move into 345. but I don't expect a breakout yet. I expect some more stability, but then somewhere, possibly still in 2025, I think we can break out, and I expect that breakout, and I expect us to rally into those 400s again. But this, the breakout itself, I'll keep you updated on, because like I said, short term, I don't think it's too relevant, but I do think right now it's already relevant, and it's already a good idea to start preparing for that, and to set some price alerts for the off chance we actually do get to $70 still as a buy area. But that is what I think you need to know right now for the Coinbase stock and some recent news, recent updates. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.